What is up, Buck Nation? Welcome back to another one of my videos. We are 11-5 on the season. We capped off the season on a 4-game win streak after going 1-3 in the third quarter of the season. After the bye week, as you know, we've won 4 straight. Why am I doing 8? 4 straight. And here we are, 11-5, and locked up the 5th seed for the playoffs. But before I get into my reaction to this wonderful game, make sure you click the subscribe button down below. I am Rami B. If you are new here, I post weekly Buccaneer reaction videos. The past few seasons, they've ended on today, but we do have playoffs now. We are locked in for the 5th seed, which means we will face the NFC East winner. If the Washington football team wins tonight against the Eagles on Sunday Night Football, we will be traveling to Washington next weekend. If Washington loses, then it'll be the winner of the Giants and Cowboys game, which is currently going on right now. From what I am seeing, the actual, right now the leader of that game is, the Giants are up 23-19 with 2 minutes left, so it could potentially be the Giants as well, unless Dallas pulls off something. I don't know what's going on in that game though. But yeah, we'll be facing the NFC East winner. And yeah, but let me get into the stats. So the Bucs won 44-27 with an 11-5 record on the season. Like I said, locked up the 5th seed. 485 total yards of offense with 391 passing and 94 rushing. I forgot to say this, but if you see me looking over, I'm looking at some stats on my computer, so I'm kind of accurate with everything going on. But let's break down the offense. So Tom Brady was 26 of 41, 399 yards, 4 touchdowns and 1 pick. The 1 pick was to Scotty Miller, which he literally caught it, hit the ground, but it like bounced out of his hands into the defender. So it's definitely not on Brady at all. It was a good throw and should have been a catch. Brady finished the season now with, if my math is right, 4,633 yards, 40 touchdowns, and 12 picks for a 43-year-old quarterback. Jameis last year was 30 for 30. Brady's in his 40s doing 40 touchdowns. I read that if he hit 40 touchdowns today, he would be like the 4th quarterback in history to have multiple 40 touchdown seasons. It's Aaron Rodgers has 3, potentially 4, because he has 39 touchdowns now, and I think they're going to play right now. Breeze has 2, Peyton Manning has 2, Dan Marino has 2, and now Brady has 2. So he's in great company there. Having over 37 touchdowns today put him past Peyton Manning for the record for the most touchdowns on the first season with a new team. He did 40. Like again, he went into the game with 36. But yeah, overall in the season, 40 touchdowns, 12 picks, 4,633 yards. Crushed the Jameis record last year, which was 33 touchdowns for the franchise. Brady literally did it in the last 2 games. Wonderful performance from him. He was everything we wanted and more. Like we all said, we just wanted Brady to, if he matched Jameis's touchdowns and cut the picks in half, we would be a much better football team. Cutting it in half would have been 15. He's at 12. I think, you know, he proved himself that he's very valuable, and we made the right decision by getting Tom Brady. So yeah, 11-5 on the season with that. Brady, who everyone said, you know, he was a system quarterback. He needs Belichick. He needs Belichick's system. He needs Belichick's defense. He needs, you know, Josh McDaniels' system. And here he is proving that he is the system as the Patriots are struggling. And Cam Newton has like 5 touchdowns on the whole season, passing and a couple rushing. I don't think he has 10 total combined. And then you see what Tom Brady's doing. Clearly, Tom Brady was the system. And with like Belichick's record, everyone says he's below 500 in his entire career without Brady. Like that just proves it in. So obviously it's Brady. But let's go into the running game. Ronald Jones needed 100 yards to reach 1,000. He was 12 for 78 with 1 touchdown, 6.5 yards per carry. I don't know why they didn't give him the ball in that last final drive before we started kneeling. They were passing it to AB. I think they were trying to get Brady to 400 yards since he finished at 399. I would have loved to see Ronald Jones get 22 yards and break 1,000, but it is what it is. He needed it for his confidence, but I think they'd rather not force it and, you know, get him an injury. They want him fresh for the playoffs. Now for receiving, I'm going to highlight Mike Evans first. 4 for 46, 6 yards past 1,000. So he finishes the season with 1,006 yards and 13 passing touchdowns. It would have been 14 and more yards, but as you know, when he had that touchdown catch, it bounced out because he hyperextended his left knee and went out. I haven't heard anything back from the MRIs. I was reading and trying to find something. There was no information on that. So hopefully it's just a hyperextension. And if so, he could potentially be back next week. But for sure, the second week of the playoffs, if we do beat the NFC East winner. Hopefully it's not an ACL. If it is, then he will be out for obviously the playoffs and maybe the beginning part of next season. But definitely shout out to him. First player in NFL history to start a career off with 7 1,000-yard seasons, officially passing Randy Moss for that. 6 yards past it. He would have definitely crushed it if he didn't get hurt, but at least he got that record. You know, I know Bruce Arians said they're definitely trying to get him that record, and it wouldn't have been possible without a giant 181-yard game last week. But let's go to the other 2 players that stepped up in his absence. AB was 11 catches for 138 yards and 2 touchdowns. The first touchdown he definitely stole from Scotty Miller. You could tell it was going to Scotty, and AB ran and kind of had to reach out for it and take it from him. And the second one was a screen pass that I think went, or not a screen pass, it was a little out route, a very short pass, if I remember correctly, and he took it like 25, almost 30 yards for the touchdown. This is why we had Antonio Brown in case there's injuries to our receivers, and as you see with Mike Evans out, AB is going to play a much more integral role. He will be the number 2 outside of outside of Chris Godwin, and then you have Scotty Miller, who's the third option. So I think now with Evans out, you're going to see that AB is going to start going back into that old Pittsburgh Steelers form. I don't think they can do it without, I think next week would be important if we had Mike Evans back. I think if Mike Evans is out, we should be okay. I think AB will be able to fill it nicely, but I also think that it changes the offensive game plan because Mike Evans is that 50-50 ball guy, and even though AB can, I don't think Tom Brady will throw a lot of 50-50 balls to a shorter receiver like him. I think we will still be fine, but obviously the offense runs and it operates a lot smoother when Evans is healthy and in there. So we'll see. Chris Godwin had 5 for 133 and 2 touchdowns. That's what, over 25 yards a catch. Definitely balled out, had a lot of big bombs, 2 touchdowns, beautiful catches. That first one was like perfectly placed ball over the linebacker and he caught it. And the second one, I don't remember exactly what happened. I think it was a shorter pass, but anytime we were stuck on like 3rd and long or whatever, you just find Godwin deep and he'd catch it. I'm pretty sure Brady's loving playing in Tampa with all of these offensive weapons and all of these options that he can continue getting the ball to, and knowing that they will come down with catches if needed. So just to think that Scotty Miller had a bad game and he was our 3rd option just shows you how stacked we are. I know Warren Sapp tweeted that, hey, attention all NFL playoff teams, y'all are going to have to score 40 points in order to beat us in the playoffs. Our offense now is officially, I think, averaging, the season ended, we've averaged 30 points per game. We are at 29.8, I want to say, before the game, or 29.9. I think we were 29.9, and now we've officially exceeded 30. The only other teams that are at 30, I believe, are the Tennessee Titans, Kansas City Chiefs, and the Green Bay Packers, who I'm sure will probably remain in the 30s as well. And the Saints were 29.9 as well, so they probably will hit that 30 mark as well. So it'll be 5 teams over 30 points per game. I do want to shout out Ryan Suckup. Officially, I've said multiple times that our kicking game is no longer an issue. He has officially scored the most points in a single season for the Buccaneers in franchise history. He surpassed Matt Bryant, who I think had 131 points. I don't know how many points Suckup surpassed it by, but he's officially the highest scoring, which is great considering how the past few seasons we've lost so many games to kicks, missed so many kicks. We were all nervous every time we went for a kick. Yeah, and then let me get to the defense. I don't want to make this too long because I do have a flight back to Kansas City in a couple of hours. But defense, Ndamukong Suh had 1 sack. That was really the only sack for the game with Devin White and Shaq out. We did get a lot of pressure on Matt Ryan with blitzes and stuff, which helped, but this was the only one that actually got through and hit. And 2 fumble recoveries, one by Antoine Winfield Jr. in the beginning of the game, which we thought was returned for a touchdown, but he was touched. And the second one by Sean Murphy bunting right before Brady hit his 40th touchdown. I think it was Calvin Ridley caught the ball, got hit, and kind of just, it got punched out and it dropped and he recovered it right there. So a great defensive performance. I know we gave up 27 points and people were mad, but we gave up 27 2 weeks ago with Carlton Davis and with Devin White and with Shaq Barrett. But I think this defense definitely is coming together. Whenever we need a stop, they are able to get it. And as long as the offense keeps moving the way they do, we're going to be all right. But yeah, guys, it's exciting. 11-5 for the first time in a billion years, playing an NFC East team. I don't want to sleep on them because I know the NFC East is kind of like the loser. We all laugh at that division, but when it comes playoff time, it's a whole different atmosphere. Every team is 0-0. It's like a new season. If we play Washington, I'm not too worried about their offense or defense, just their D-line, which gives us a lot of trouble. So we'll see, but our offensive line has played really well recently. If we play the Giants, I'm a little more worried about that because the Giants historically do play Brady tougher than other teams, and we will be in the cold weather in New York. So we'll see by the end of the night what happens. But thank you for tuning in, Buck Nation. 11-5, it's time to celebrate our first playoff berth in 13 years. 5th seed, the highest non-division winning seed, and we're going to be blessed by playing an NFC East team rather than playing like the Seattle Seahawks. So yeah, definitely time to celebrate, enjoy this positioning, enjoy this win, and let's go Tampa Bay, go Bucks. As always, thank you for tuning in. Comment down below if you think that Tom Brady exceeded expectations, if you thought that is what you expected, or you still would have rather had Jameis, because I know a lot of y'all online be complaining every time Brady throws a pick, talking about, oh, Jameis could have done that, yada, yada, yada. We're past that. We're on Brady. Playoff time. Let's go. 4 more wins. Let's finish the season. Let's finish the season after the bye on an 8-0 run, which would mean a Super Bowl. And let's get it. Thank you for tuning in. And as always, I am out.
Our offense tough, our defense rough. Go Bucks. Go Bucks. Ain't no other team stopping us. Go Bucks. Go Bucks.